So please put your hands together for the wonderful Hannes Ametsreiter. Enjoy.
Good afternoon, everybody. I mean, listening to all the speeches so far, it's fantastic to hear the visions about the future and around the future. I would like to share some humble perspective we are having as Vodafone around the future. I would like to discuss where we are with networks, with connectivity. But I think the most important thing is what services are we thinking at? What services are we trying to launch? And let me start with the first slide. I mean, it's around networks. Might sound a bit boring, but it's the base. It's the mother for digitization. And I believe it is super important to understand what is to come. These different network layers. It's, of course, it's LTE. Of course, it's cable and fiber. Of course, it's Narrowband IoT and also 5G. I would like to focus more on the new ones. I would like to focus on what is to come with this new technology. And this technology, I would like to share what we are thinking about. It's also clear that we'll see millions of services which will be totally different. But starting with 5G, at the moment discussed by everybody, launched only by one, by Vodafone first as a pioneer, and then one other followed. So 5G will be the future of mobile communication. At the beginning, just data, then also voice and speech. So starting first means you're using the test spectrum. Starting first means a lot of mistakes. Starting first also means a lot to learn. We started with that phase, and we thought it's really worth to be first. It's worth to be a pioneer. And that's why we did it. That's why we made this move. And what you see here is how we connect things. 5G is mainly to connect things. Of course, your smartphone will get faster. Of course, the latency will go down to 1, 2, 3, 5 milliseconds. That's a big change to what we have today. And therefore, being a pioneer in 5G, we believe it is important, and it will be so many other things to be developed out of that. Super fascinating. One thing you see, connecting cars, vehicle-to-vehicle communication. Why are we doing that? Because at the moment, 9 people are dying every day in Germany. That's not necessary. We would like to save life. If you connect cars, they don't crash anymore. If you connect not only cars, but also bikes and pedestrians and people moving around, then you can save life. And I mean, that's something we are testing it already in Aachen. So it's done, it's working. And that's something which is fascinating because we really can see sense in what we are doing and we can see clear impact. And I really believe, I mean, all this event is around impact, and generating impact for people is super important. So, I mean, that's the 5G opportunities we are facing, and it's fascinating. It's the very beginning, and we'll see a lot. But what is much more interesting, where Europe is leading, is industry. I mean, if you look around in the world, where would you find industry? First, Germany, and then Europe. So we are the world leading industry player. And what do you normally do? In every concept you write for a company, it is built on your strength. And this is building on our strength, looking on improvement of productivity. How can we play industry in the Industry 4.0 new generation way? And the opportunities, you're looking at them here. That's a car production plant in Aachen. It's being run and developed and founded by Professor Günther Schuh. He's a super cool entrepreneur. He's a super smart professor. And he built this plant, huge, bigger than this here. And this plant is the first one in the world totally being wired up without wires on 5G. So the whole production plant is connected with 5G, totally digitized. You don't see any flea spender. I mean, it's a little vehicle moving around. So super flexible if you want to change anything. And it's around electric cars. It's around super cheap cars, 15,000 euros, and it looks nice. And it's a good product. But what is totally new, you know, normally you build production plants with some Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi, well, it's not really state-of-the-art, but still existing, and getting better also. But they could lose some packets, which means the production is not precise. not precise enough for the future. And what we are doing is to connect everything, also the tools, with 5G. So if you connect a tool with 5G, you have all the data available. So you know exactly if you turn a screw, if you turned it rightly. And then you could put it, and that's what we also built, in some cloud service, put it on mobile edge cloud, which means super low latency, but you can also store the information what you've just done. Do you really need it? I don't know, but it's improving quality, and therefore it should be good. And so that combination of 5G, connecting tools and cars, but to also think around mobile edge cloud, super short latency, core slicing, bandwidth only for production. So if a bus is going by, then this bus will not consume the bandwidth because it's reserved just for production. Now that's a new quality level we never had before. So very fascinating. I believe we'll see that all over. It is the next level of production. They're much smarter, much better. If you don't do it, not good enough. So therefore, interesting. What else are we thinking about? I mean, it's soccer. I mean, in Munich, soccer is important, which is good. In Austria, not that important. But we have skiing. And therefore, I mean, what we did is we combined data, exclusive data, with an actual real soccer game. And what we are doing here, so you can see, you can use this device, you could use goggles, you could use any device. Look at the playing field and receive additional information. It could be the speed of the soccer player running on the field, seeing that he's faster than the others. It could be the penalty, and you see exactly, I mean, the player now doing the penalty, that he normally, with 61% of probability, is hitting this right down corner. Interesting for people watching, interesting for the goalkeeper. So I mean, that's something which is just, it's a new opportunity. And then you connect it with betting, and you can at this very beginning and at this very moment. So I mean, that's how we think about sports, about entertainment, totally new opportunity to generate content in a totally new way. So cool stuff. Then it's also very much about and around mobility. We just recently started that cooperation with UNO. UNO is a great product. I mean, it's about city urban mobility. It's also a case that we are connecting vehicles. In this case, it's a cool roller, and this one is connected with SIM cards. And out of that, I mean, it's just an easy service for people to use it, to connect, to get more information, and also share it. So also a great opportunity, which is ongoing. Many players, very competitive market, but the market of mobility is a big one, and it's changing a lot, driven by startups, and that's good that we see some new ideas. What else are we doing? Super simple, smart city activities. So what we are doing here, for instance, that we mount some sensors, and it's just smarter to find a parking lot. You use your mobile phone, have a look, where's a free parking lot. At the moment, people in Germany are using 41 hours a year to look for a parking lot. Way too much. So using technology, sensors, and connectivity could help here a lot. And so what else could be done? We now see so many different areas. It could be precision farming in agriculture. It could be logistics. It could be healthcare. It's production and processing, which I mentioned. It's retail. And there's also one cool aviation stuff, and we have a look at that one afterwards. What are we doing to find the best ideas, the best offers in the market, and to have the best partners? And here, it's a group of founders, of idea makers, and getting things done is important. What we would like to offer is a platform. What we would like to offer is that you could scale. What we would like to offer, that we support you. Why? Because we have, in the world, we have around 600 million customers, so some. And this is an opportunity for us to be a humble platform, to say, let's cooperate. We are looking for ideas, for solutions, for services. If we can work together to find better access to customers, this would be a good thing. And therefore, we would like to boost, we would like to distribute, and be a helpful platform. How we could cooperate, I would like to show you now, and I would like to invite two guests, and it's two people. two companies. It's Laura Tönnes, CEO and co-founder of Chorux, and it's Robert Jenisch from the company called IOX. So Laura and Robert, if you would come on stage, would love to welcome you. Hello. Hi. I just discussed and said and talked around the platform we are offering. And of course, we love to get new ideas. We love to cooperate with companies. And Laura, I would like to start with you. Using connectivity, what does it mean for your business? You are so good in doing what you're doing, but what exactly is it?
Sure. First of all, thank you very much for having me. So we at Chorux, we analyze the equipment data and the process data of very, very big construction machinery, and thereby we can make processes more efficient, look at when there is maybe a downtime about to occur, and then intervene or give the user recommendations based on IoT data. So acting before something very bad has resulted to your job site and putting your entire operations down.
So what would be the example, for instance? Okay, understood, data is, platform is important. You're using data, so you use some sensors, you get some information out, and it's now super important to don't have any downtime on the Baustelle, on the construction site, but to really keep things going. And what exactly are you doing with predictive, and in what area, with what machines, for instance?
So I think it's not only the downtime of the construction equipment we have to look at in the first place, but also the downtime of our data information traveling to our servers. And that's where our partnership comes into play, that we have to look at how can I really generate IoT data on a consistent basis in order to offer services like predictive, because I cannot have any downtime in my cloud infrastructure or in my IoT stream, and by wanting to predict downtime. So typically we look at the sensor data of large excavators and then give recommendations as to what needs to be done, what pressure needs to be put down, how a machine can be used a little bit differently in order to impede very, very costly downtime.
Okay, great. So I mean, it's good to see and hear that connectivity is important. And Laura was also asking, could you please provide some connectivity in tunnels? And so, okay, we will try. But it's good to know that it's really, the world is changing, because I mean, this platform will change a lot in producing and servicing and doing business. Robert, IOX, what are you doing? And how are you using connectivity? In what way are you cooperating with Vodafone?
Yeah, IOX is standing for Internet of Everything, and that's what we believe. So we see a huge blue ocean of IoT solutions, but at the moment we have quite a lot of building blocks to create those solutions and the technology. We need to figure out how those solutions are working in the future in terms of product market fit, right? And that's where we think prototyping is helping us a lot. And we are doing it since 3 years now, and have done 120 projects in the IoT area.
Because the problem is always how to get things done. I mean, you need to see anything, you need some hardware, you need some software.
Right.
And one example you made for us.
Yeah, yes, that's a good idea. So one example is it's like a scale which is measuring the weight of gas bottles and to help people to understand when they have to exchange the bottles. And the use case is set that clear in terms of business and technology that everybody's understanding it, gaining it, and can implement the solution in their, let's say, coffee kitchens and having...
So the problem was that we opened up a new Niederlassung in Hannover. And when we started there, we are normally using, and that's the case in every single Vodafone site, we are using a mix of water where we are adding this CO2 bubbling, sparkling water. And the problem was there's some gas bottle in there, and we never knew when it's empty. And so what they did is they just produced a super simple little machinery to get out the weight, have a sensor, have a SIM card, and we put it out there into logistics, and now we know exactly, and we never run out of that service. And we can do that for that, but I mean, there are so many other ideas how to do that, right?
Right, yeah. For Narrowband IoT, which is the technology we use there, we see a huge part of places where we can implement it. Let's say just measuring temperature and humidity in decentralized infrastructure for signal houses or stuff like this, it's a huge impact. It's a small technology piece, but a huge business impact. Yeah.
So I think you've realized it's so many ideas out there, it's so many startups out there. And it's so many fantastic platforms being started. And it's good and great to see that in Germany happen, but it also should have some global scale. And what we would wish is that you are growing, and I think you really earned now a very warm and great applause. Thank you. And please stay up here. I mean, there's one more thing, and the discussion we had, and I think it's not something we should only discuss now. It is so important. I mean, it is around our future. It's around our planet. And, you know, I don't really feel good when we are always planning for 2050. It's like, come on. I mean, this is, when is that? I mean, that's a bit too many years. And we would now like to also take the opportunity to say we want to do more. We want to start with ourselves. We want to start as a company. We want to start as people being responsible for planet, for climate. And what we would like to do is that we will reduce the CO2 emission by 92%, not in 2050, not in 2040, but in 2022. So this is the first move, and we would like to make also in 2022 our network totally 100% green, and so that's a plan we have.